I just bought a new monitor because this is the office at the house right now, and yes, it's early in development, but I've been doing most of my editing at the actual office because I've got my big monitor and a little monitor together, so that's what I edit on. But what I have found is that, of course, when I come here to edit, I have that one monitor set up with the PC. But when I edit off my MacBook, which is currently upstairs, one of the issues is that the screen real estate just isn't there, so I need something bigger. Plus, I wanted to have something a little bigger for actually, if I wanted to play some games, bigger is better, right? So I ended up buying this. You guys maybe able to see it here. I'll just do one of these. This is it right here. From a brand called Jlink. I've never even heard of them before, but I did try to do as much YouTube searching as I possibly could. You know, bang for buck. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. There was just a couple things that I wanted, and there was two kind of monitors that I was kind of looking between. One was a little bit more expensive, but it had a discount, which brought it down to like $350 Canadian. This one had no discount, $350 Canadian, but it seemed to have more features, so I ended up going with this one. Anyways, the box is here, and like I said, this is it. This is it. It's a fairly large box, as you can see. And I apologize for the audio because I'm just using camera mic, and hopefully I can make it sound somewhat decent. We'll find out, but really, audio it's important. Of course it is. It's important. But let's see what this is like. And I should have brought a knife down, but like always, I did not bring one. Let's just see what this comes with, shall we? I'm guessing, actually, I should put this on the floor. Ready? All right. So inside it, you guys can see when you get this box, it's pretty large. It's a large box. You do get a manual, and just so you guys can see, I will put a little screenshot up here. You guys can pause it if you want, with all the kind of specs and things like that of the actual monitor, if you want to see it on Amazon, so you know which one I got. Power cable, of course. Now the nice thing is it doesn't have like a big power brick, just a nice power cable, which is cool. And it comes with not an HDMI, but is that a, what do they call it? A DV? I don't think it's DVI. It's whatever the other one is. You know, 1.4. I can't remember what it's called, but it's that one. It's that one. And you get three little wee screws. Little wee screws. Right. There's the cable, and the nice thing about this cable, this is the cable that you kind of need for getting like the high refresh rate. And I did see some people, I think it was a little, in the comments, somebody was saying, oh, I can only get 120 hertz when it's, I can't remember if it's 144 or 165 hertz. You need that cable and you need that hookup on your computer to get those speeds. If you're running HDMI at that resolution, which is, I think it's 3400 or 3440 by 1440, you can only get 120 hertz through the HDMI port. So if you want to get faster, it's a AVI, not AVI, AD, I don't know. Again, screens, you'll see it on there. Anyways, that's the two cables you get. Of course, you're gonna get, oh no, I was wrong. You do have a massive power brick. Yes, big old power brick. So that's where you're getting your power from. This is going to be your base. I don't know if this is toolless or not, but whatever. It's a good metal base. Like, yeah, that's solid. Yes, seems solid. It's gonna stick out a fair bit. That's okay. I don't mind. Just put that off to the side. It's all right. Your base, again, all seems metal, seems pretty high quality, and I think you just snap this in. Now there may be, it looks like there's three like screw holes in the bottom for where the base, this part, yeah, this part actually mounts onto this part, so this would go here, and then we screw those screws into the base, yes, which I will do, and then the monitor. So what I'm gonna do here, before we go too far, is I'm gonna move some of this, just a little bit of stuff moving around. Okay, so the nice thing about the base is it's honestly like maybe 3 or 4 like full good turns of the screws and they're in, so nice and solid, which is excellent. I do think this monitor on the up top here can be moved up and down. Okay, now let's bring the monitor up. I'm going to put the monitor on this chair so I can put the stand on, and then hope that I can actually have it fit on this desk. That is the hope. So this is what they call, I think it's a 1500R curve. So it's got a decent curve in it, but it's not crazy. You guys can see the curve. It's pretty substantial, right? You can see the curve on it right there. It's about, I think it's similar to the one that I have currently. I think 1000 curve is like the maximum kind of curve you can get, and as the number goes up, the curve lessens. So if you had one that's an 1800 or 2000, it's even less of a curve. I'm not 100% sure what my Huawei monitor is. It feels similar to this. The back of this monitor, as far as I can tell, you should just have to, I'll bring the camera over so you guys can see it. You should just have to click. I think it's, you just click it into place right in there. So that's the hope. This, as far as I know, should be toolless. And I think you just, yeah, that's it. It's a, you slide and click and it's done. That's all. That's it. If you come over here and look, actually, I'll bring this over here again. You guys, because you like this. Ready? This is live. This whole panel down here, hopefully you can see it. You can pop this off, right? So this one has a USB up, USB 1, USB 2, a LAN port. This is your power, HDMI 1, DP. So that's the one that's going to give you the higher refresh rates. Type C, USB, and earphone. So it's got tons of ports. Now the one thing it doesn't have is multiple, let's say multiple HDMIs or multiple DP ports, display port. So if you need that, there may be something to look at, but really I have 2 computers. I will use HDMI off the Mac. I'll use the DP off of the PC, and that should be all we need. This is definitely where you would want a bigger desk. Now I have another desk coming, and this will probably sit corner, because as you can see, you need a fairly deep desk for a monitor like this. But the other thing that's nice about this is it does have a bit of a swivel, right? You can swivel it a fair bit in either directions. It has a up, down, not much down, does something up. And of course, it does have the ability, I think I'm up all the way. Can I go down? Yeah, so you can bring it down. So I'm gonna plug it in and see if it actually functions. Okay, so all set up. I don't necessarily have it completely the way I want it, because I do need to get an adapter for my Mac because I want to run the dual screens. But right now I have them running in full for both. So right now you'll see this is the Windows computer, right? This is Windows, so I can come in here and whatever, launch Steam and everything looks great. So many people were saying that they had, you know, the text was funny. I don't see it at all by any means. I don't see that. I'm not too sure what they were seeing. 3440 is by 1440 is kind of a good spot. Now it's definitely not going to be as clean as if you had 4K, but in an ultra wide, if you want to go to a 4K display of this size, this big dollars. When you come in here to display settings, it located it right away. It does say you can use HDR if you want, right? And you can supposedly turn this on, but this is what happens. So don't is my simple thing, right? It doesn't seem like it's going to be an actual 4K display. I do have it set to 1440 by 3440, 3440 by 1440. You guys can see it. Landscape, you can put this in orientation, like switch it. You can put it for multiple displays, which I may set up, right? I may actually set up an HDMI to go out to this so I can use it. advanced displays, you could actually see, maybe you can see this, hopefully you can see this. It does say 3440 by 1440 at 165 hertz. 165 hertz. So it is getting that 8-bit RGB standard dynamic range, HDR certification. It says not found, but that's fine. Choose a refresh rate. I have 165, 140, 120, but I am using the DP connection, so that's why I'm able to get that. If I were choosing not, we wouldn't. Now, the other thing that is good here, for me at least, the actual control for it is on the bottom here, bottom right, looking at it. And if I just tap on that, there's a lot of settings in here for color and brightness and all that kind of stuff. It actually does say it's running 3440 by 1440 at 165 hertz. If I actually come into input here and go to single, and I can change that to HDMI. So if I click HDMI, it should switch over to the Mac. Maybe I may have to turn you a little bit, and actually, yeah, it may help if I actually had the Mac on. Now we're getting 2560 by 1440 is what it's set up. Its default. It's a little stretched. That's what it defaults at. At, what did it say? 60 hertz, something like that. The Mac is definitely not pushing out, like, it's not a gaming machine, right? But I can come in here and go to 38. So I can get this full 3440 by 14. But you're not going to get that speed, at least on a MacBook. So if I click on this here, yeah, it says 3440 by 1440 at 50 hertz. So that's all we're getting on this display hooked up to the Mac through HDMI, through the actual, just through a dongle, so an adapter, maybe. No, you can't see it. Anyway, just a normal adapter, but that's fine for me for if I want to work in stuff like Final Cut, because again, I do a lot of editing, so being able to come in here and just open up Final Cut and hopefully have it come up in full, so it's, you know, taking up the whole thing, which is what I was missing, and you know, that is way better. Yes, that is something that I can actually work with, so I'm very happy. Text looks fine. Colors I may tinker around with. I am thinking of buying myself a color, like a monitor calibrator, just so I can make sure everything's calibrated. But out of the box, not the blacks may need to have a little bit of playing around with, but it seems pretty close. And if we were to switch this back to the actual PC and we play a quick game, 165 hertz, right? But it does look good. It's not a super bright monitor, but even in a room like this, it's fine. I wouldn't need anything brighter, and I can turn the lights off in here if I want. Yeah, and the text and fonts, everything here look fine. Yeah, no worries. I don't think you're gonna have too big of an issue. It actually looks crispier than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so in here I am rocking, well, on my machine, about 65 frames per second. And that's 100% playable. Again, just in 1920 by 1080. But yeah, that's great. And it looks pretty good. Again, not crazy bright. You know, if you want that kind of brightness, you're gonna have to go to a much bigger or more expensive monitor, for sure, right? So I think for the money that I spent on it, I'm gonna be pleased. But I will do a full review of it, I think, down the road once I've had a chance to play with it. All right, guys, this is the Jlink 34-inch, I believe it is, ultra-wide curved monitor. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be happy with it. I got a little bit of time to play with it. All right, I will see you guys next video. Later. Oh, I'm just kicking back and real fast. I thought I was playing that in 1920 by 1080, but no, 3440 by 1440. So I was at like full resolution, getting, you know, 60 frames a second. So that's all right. If I actually came down here and it doesn't let me actually change anything at all. So graphics, display, anything that I can play with, no, it just kind of locks it, calibrates it, right? I calibrate brightness if I wanted. So I got it up. I like it to be brighter. So I'll just save that. But if you wanted it crunchy, you could do that as well. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Quality mode. Let's go balance just to see. Oh yeah, so I go to balance, I get a little
a little better. I go to 66, almost up to 70 frames per second on this one. So, and I'd be okay with that. And there's definitely a little bit of like blurring on the pixels and stuff like that. But well, if you're just staring at the center screen, watching her, and not really focusing on anything else, I think you'll be happy. I think you'll be happy.